All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to I will full disclosure say, pretty flappily rushed episode of the Battle Hymnal. We are here to preview our upcoming UGA versus Vanderbilt game between the hedges this weekend, senior day, I think. Right? And I'm Nathan Lawrence, one of your co-hosts. I am also the co-host of the Chapel Bell Curve, which is the audio sister product or show to this, what you're watching right now. I'm joined as always by Josh Kancher. Say hello, Josh.
Good evening.
And the Grand Coffee out in Colorado. Say hello, Graham.
Hello.
Eyebrow waggle, Graham. There we go. All right, we were joined by a special guest tonight. We were joined by Thomas of Anchor of Gold, which is SB Nation's Vanderbilt site, right? It's SB Nation, right? I'm not pulling that on my butt. Okay, cool. So we're going to do a pretty quick one here in sort of like deference to all of everyone's schedules and that we're all sort of going crazy right now. So first, let's just hit some stats like we would normally do. Then we're going to get into sort of like things from the Vanderbilt side, a little bit more newsy from Thomas. Not that this game doesn't matter or that we don't care, but there's just not a whole lot to say. So Josh, hit us up. Talk us through what we got here.
All right. So I've cooked up from our good friend Clark Brooks over at StatCat. These are the top, more than 20 plays run by Georgia's offense. Inside zone read, we have run that play 129 times with a 52% success rate, 5.3 yards per play. The flood variations, which we've broken down and talked about a lot, is our number one pass play and a 58% success rate, cooking up an 8.8 yard per attempt. That's per attempt. That I didn't do the per catch because it would be probably about 14 or 15 yards. And then, of course, the outside zone, inside power, and then the shot variations in the inside zone, which are all very similar. These are all pretty successful plays except for, the shot variations, which I think are, sort of kind of boom or bust plays. But if we go to what I've cooked up is how Vanderbilt defends those plays that we actually are pretty good at. And you can see this is the Vandy defense on the inside zone read. They are allowing 55% success rate, 7 yards per play. So that is right there. I think that's sort of the end of the stats discussion. So Georgia's run that play 130 times for 5 yards a carry, and Vanderbilt has had it run on them for 58 plays and a success rate of 55. And the flood variations, they have only had that run 16 times on them, so they're defending maybe a little bit better in the secondary. Thomas, do you find that to be the case watching them on watching the games? That maybe the secondary might be something we can shine some positive light on?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's hard to say because somebody's got to make the tackle eventually, and the last guy.
All right. Well, and so I'm going to show the Vanderbilt most popular plays here, most often run plays. And let me see here, palette. I got a lot of buttons going on. Okay. So Vanderbilt's number one or the top 4 plays, they run that inside zone read 100 plus times, 44% success rate, and a 4.6 yards per attempt. Not bad.
That's actually not bad at all. Yeah, that's totally competent.
Yeah, but the EPA is low. That tells you right there. It's not it's a successful play. They're marginally successful, but not a super explosive play. The outside zone is, I'm sure they just show you the same look, same kind of, actually 5.2 yards per attempt and a much higher EPA there. So maybe they're going to try to stretch the field on the dogs. And then the flood variations, actually, they're throwing those plays over the middle and not a lot of great pass plays happening. And then, of course, I'm going to hopefully I can show the Georgia defending those plays. Yeah, Georgia's giving up only 4.1 yards per attempt on those inside zone read runs and a 41% success rate. And all those others are sub 40 except for the outside zone. So maybe we're going to be seeing Vanderbilt attack sort of the outside on the edge of those inside zone runs, or outside zone runs. So they've actually given up a 56% success rate on those plays. So that's a lot of numbers. I hope you guys can follow along there. But the takeaway is Georgia's a better football team. All right, I think we can all agree there.
Shocker.
I mean, yeah, surprised to learn this.
So yeah, go ahead, Graham.
I mean, I think I'm curious, Thomas. Like, I haven't watched a ton of Vanderbilt football this year, but it seemed like you guys had a good game against Florida. There was a good game. I think before that, like, I know the season started off really poorly, but it felt like the team was improving. There was some momentum. Things were going well. And then last week, 41-0. I don't think you guys crossed the 30-yard line at any point. Like, what was going well, and then what was all of a sudden not going well again?
Vanderbilt's starting Ken Seals, a true freshman quarterback this season. Obviously, you expect some growing pains. He's probably gonna be better in November than he is in September. That was at least part of what was happening up until the Missouri game. The offensive play calling was showing a little bit more confidence in his ability to attack in the downfield passing game. At the same time, I mean, the offensive line just got hammered with COVID opt-outs before the season even started. I think they lost probably 3 guys who were going to start, and then there was then this guy was probably going to be the starting left tackle transferred to Georgia Tech in the offseason. That was
bastards. Those absolute bastards.
Yeah. It's and we can maybe get into this a little bit later, but I mean, Vandy loses a lot of grad transfers every year, and there's like some unrelated crap going into that. And I think I heard that guy didn't even play for Georgia Tech in the end. So I mean, when you're starting a true freshman and then you've got just like a complete patchwork offensive line, I mean, you're pretty limited in what you can do. The surprise is that the defense, I think, brought back like 10 starters from last season, and then they just didn't improve at all. You have like Richard Johnson on Twitter was saying a couple of weeks ago that like, they held Florida to 38 points. That's a good performance for the defense. Like, I wouldn't call that. It's a good performance. Okay. And then I watched the Missouri game, and that was just like, I don't really know what happened. Seals looked like he didn't have a good game, but then there's just who knows what's going on with the program right now. But anyway, that loss led to the firing of Derek Mason. So just whatever I say about the team, just throw it all out the window because we've got an interim coach this week, and who knows what he's going to try to do.
Well, a related question: Are we ready to sort of like transition off of like the actual football conversation here?
I mean, what is there?
I don't want to still finish up running. Yeah, I'm running some graphics. We can. Georgia should win this game. The curious part is what. I have one football question regarding Saturday's game. I mean, did they quit? Did they not? Are they Missouri's just getting that much better? I mean, the turmoil. This kind of leads into the Sarah Fuller question. I mean, what happened on Saturday? Talk about Sarah Fuller. Let's and what's happening right now.
I'm really not sure what happened on Saturday. I don't. Let me say this. I don't like to ever say that. When we're talking about unpaid college athletes, I don't like to say that these guys quit. But something went horribly wrong on Saturday, and I don't really know what it was. And of course we are all familiar with the national story that came out of that game, and I remember going through Twitter during the game and just being so annoyed that I'm watching my team get just completely blown out, and all anyone's talking about is, can they get in field goal range maybe? And we couldn't even do that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, if I would love to see it happen, a field goal attempt. I'd love to see her make it, or hell, PAT. And I tweeted it out today because maybe I'm pulling stuff out of my youth that no one really cares about, but I just think it's kind of cool that what put U.S. women's soccer on the map was the '96 Olympics, which they won gold in Athens at Sanford Stadium, which I think is kind of cool. I don't know if she's was aware of that or if that's already out there, but I think it'd be pretty neat. I mean, I know that the entire entire country was very excited to see that happen, and maybe there's some bookending symbolism there. I mean, I got a soccer player son, and my wife went to Vanderbilt, so we were pretty excited to see that potential, and of course it was unfortunate the squib kick, whatever you want to talk about how it was. I mean, people are going to hate if they want to hate. People are going to be happy if they're going to be happy. So I think, I just hope it's a positive. It's a net positive for Sarah, for Vanderbilt, for college football, for women athletics. I think it's great. I'm excited to see it. I hope all the other stuff doesn't detract away from it, and all the stuff that seems to be happening around the program. And I thought Kirby said some pretty positive things about it in his post-game presser when he was asked about it, or maybe it was the Monday presser.
Yeah. I guess I don't know if you have any more knowledge of this than I do. I haven't been able to keep up too much today on Twitter, but with Vanderbilt's COVID situation, and then I guess there's a little bit of rumors of some discord internally. Do you think this game is going to get played? Do you think Vanderbilt is going to bring a team to Athens this weekend?
I would, yeah. I mean, right now I would say I have no reason to believe that they won't. I think that the COVID numbers are probably better than they were in mid-October when they had to postpone a game. Aside from the kickers, obviously, which that's where you got Sarah Fuller getting called in to do a squib kick is just because apparently all of the kickers had COVID last week. I haven't heard anything. Now there have been some rumors of guys opting out. And there have been a lot of people jumping to their own conclusions about why they're opting out. I think we don't know the reasons. I think a lot of if there are any players opting out, it's probably going to be guys who were going to be gone after this season either way. It's not guys who are planning to be on the team next year. Let's put it that way. And I don't think this has anything to do with the coaching change either.
Gotcha. So, I think we were saying this beforehand. Neither of these teams have a lot in this season to play for. They got a lot to play for, seniors, etc. I'm not trying to be like it doesn't matter. I'm just saying there's not an SEC championship at stake here. So, as a Vanderbilt fan, is there anything you're looking for, just signs of life? Or anything you'd like to see?
Yeah, what I'd like to see is, one of the knocks that a lot of Vanderbilt fans have had on Derek Mason over the last few years is that there have always been a lot of whispers that he's a defensive guy, but he likes to have a hand in the offense. He kind of likes to dictate that, we want to be ball control and, we want to, as y'all say, run the dang ball. And I think I think one thing I just kind of want to see what Todd Fitch is going to do when, he's in charge and he's, was he really being held back by Derek Mason, or are we about to see Vanderbilt, throw the ball 50 times in a game? That's really all you can try to look for in a game like this. When you have an interim coach, he's not going. I don't want to say this 100%, but 99% he's not going to get the job permanently. There's really just, it's almost like a bowl game when your team's already, when your coach has already left and half of your roster is getting ready for the NFL draft. I just don't want to see us lose 70-0. That's
Well, buddy, I have a team for you. Let me tell you. Yeah. Welcome to the Georgia Bulldogs. I think we're going to probably throw it a pretty good deal because they want to knock the rust off of JT Daniels. But I think once Daniels comes out, it's going to be, hey, we're going to run inside zone the rest of the game. So we don't really. I mean, it might work, it might not. We're just trying to run the clock out here. I really think the second half is going to take an hour.
I mean, you guys got the victory lap on JT Daniels and Todd Monken. I'll take my little tiny victory lap. Whenever we previewed the season, and I was like, it's going to be interesting when these games late in the season, when there's really nothing to play for, what happens to these players. And I've been pleasantly surprised, and I don't know if I have no idea why more UGA players or how very few have opted out. I mean, I guess there's still something to play for. Technically the SEC East is still on the line, but some of these, why? I mean, if you're Vanderbilt, why? And you're Tennessee and you're Kentucky, these games are even less meaningless than a bowl game. I guess I don't know. I'm very. I thought there would be more of this.
I mean, football is fun, right? I mean, it's supposed to be fun. You practice and you lift weights and you do all this shit all year long, and then the payoff for that is the games when you're on TV. Even if you're on TV getting beat 41-0 at Missouri, you still have put in a lot of work to get to that spot. And also, I mean, all of those guys, not all of them, but all the underclassmen, there's the ability to put good stuff on tape for the next coaching staff. There's also the ability to possibly put stuff on tape for grad transfers. I don't know. I'm sure Vandy does have some guys with NFL aspirations for sure. I mean, they're an SEC roster. There's got to be a couple there.
Yeah, there are at least a couple. But one of them may not be playing this week. He's rumored to be one of the opt-outs.
Well, I guess we're coming up on 20 minutes, and so I wanted to get your insight as a Vandy aficionado. I try to avoid asking two-parts questions, so I guess this one is inherently two parts, which is what we're seeing just what what's the correct expectation of Vanderbilt? What is I know that every fan has expectations, but I'm saying, what's a measured expectation for Vanderbilt for you?
I mean, right now with the university culture as it is, I mean, realistically, you're talking 7-5 is a good year. James Franklin went 8-4 a couple of times. I mean, there needs to be some changes, on the administrative side before you can really expect anything better than that. There's just, I mean, the way I would put it is it's almost like the university hates the football team sometimes. And it's, when people talk about, well, Vanderbilt doesn't invest in, their locker rooms, and that's really just more like a symptom of the problem than the actual problem. Because, how many times have you ever seen a recruit say oh, well, I picked this school because I like their locker rooms? But it's, it really does go deeper than that, and a lot of things need to be fixed before I can say we should be going 9-3 on a regular basis. And then obviously, I mean, we're still going to share a division with Florida and Georgia, even if we do start paying more attention to football.
You guys still own Tennessee, though.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Well, they lost to them last year, and yeah, one of our other writers just tweeted out the other day. It's interesting that we fired a guy who's 500 against Tennessee in his career. And I was 21 years old the first time in my life that Vanderbilt beat Tennessee in football. So, we're all just kind of we won 3 of 6, and now that guy's not good enough for us.
Well, it is.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm not. I know you're not like a reporter, but I mean, from your viewpoint, I'm not asking you to source this. I'm just curious what you think. Is there any hire that's going to help fix that culture, or does it just have to come from AD/president/ boosters? Like, is that a fixable thing just with a new coach, or?
Well, I think you kind of saw with James Franklin that you can fix some aspects of the culture just within the locker room. I think that now I do think that the new chancellor who just started this year, I think, is trying to fix some things with that. But you also have like a lot of tenured faculty who are not going anywhere that just hate the football team.
That is so absolutely wild to me as someone who has worked at and around UGA athletics. That is, wow, that would be an impediment. It's crazy. I mean, I get it.
Yeah. I mean, at Vanderbilt, they actually pay attention to the faculty is the difference.
Yeah. No, trust me, I wish UGA was more like that. I would prefer that we treated our faculty correctly.
Can I ask a question real quick? So, Thomas, you become the athletic director at Vanderbilt tomorrow. Setting aside all these other kind of systemic, deep problems that we're talking about, who do you go and hire as the head football coach at Vanderbilt? A real candidate that you think Vandy should hire.
Okay. Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, are we allowing me to hire Saban? But no.
Right.
I think right now, just off the candidates that I've seen, I'd probably go with Jamie Chadwell from Coastal Carolina, because when you've got Coastal at 9-0 and ranked 14th in the country, I think you're doing something right. But he's actually been a favorite of Anchor of Gold for a while. After back in 2014, he was at Charleston Southern and he brought his team into Vanderbilt Stadium and almost beat us. And there were some people in the comment thread were saying like, hey, maybe we should trade coaches with Charleston Southern. And now we might actually end up doing that.
Well, it looks like USC is going to screw around and hire somebody worse than him, so you guys might look into this.
Right.
What are they going to hire? Shane Beamer?
That's what Billy Napier I'd be fine with. But
who his dad was, not like...
Yeah, because Virginia Tech has really been a model of success in the past couple of years that you want to base your program around. Yeah, freaking USC. Well, Thomas, I don't want to keep you anymore.
All right.
We thank you so much for coming on short notice, and giving us some insight on a program that none of us had anything to say intelligently about. So we really appreciate. We really appreciate you private school guys coming down here and just dropping some erudition on us.
All right.
If we do this for basketball, can you do basketball too, right? I know.
Yeah,
I enjoy your tweets during basketball.
You're gonna have to teach us the rules.
Yeah, well, basketball team the last couple of years has been even worse than our football team.
I know, but that makes for good Twitter.
Yeah. Baseball season comes around eventually, though.
Right.
That's awesome. There we go.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Thomas.
Yeah, thanks for hearing, bud.
Yep.
Well,
I guess. Oh, there you go. Perfect. You guys got anything else you want to chat about before we get out of here?
Yeah.
Go.
I mean, I do. I guess I'm a little curious. We talked a little bit about what he's looking for from Vandy this weekend. What do you guys want to see out of Georgia on Saturday to feel like this game was worth being played?
I want to give up a scoring opportunity on defense, and I want to see Sarah Fuller. I want to see Sarah Fuller try to kick a field goal.
I agree. I also want, which I think might happen because I think we might see Nate McBride in the second quarter. And Nate McBride is when you know we've won.
He's a Prather Hudson of the defense.
If you see Prather Hudson or Nate McBride, we're up by 20, and Kirby ain't worried about it.
This is now Nate McBride account.
I think, and I think a lot of people have talked about this with more cogency than I can because I don't know anything about quarterback mechanics. I think it's pretty clear that at the sort of granular level that JT Daniels is still knocking off some rust. I mean, he's definitely performed ably, but I think people who know how quarterback should be played better than me have said that, he hasn't been punished for some mistakes and he's had some just mechanical things. So to me, it's just like, get the guy 2 full quarters of play and it doesn't really matter. Like, I don't want to be dismissive about this game, but it is really house money. We played all the games I want us to play. Any other game we play this year is like, cool, that helps for next year, awesome.
Yeah.
But
I want to get to Missouri. I think Missouri would be a good game because I don't think we're going to see a lot. 2 quarters of JT Daniels would be great, but I really want to play a Missouri team that's playing hungry, that's exceeded expectations. They're playing. Yeah. I would love to go there. I would love for it to snow. I would love. Yeah. That would be fun. That would be fun. But obviously we're already looking ahead. So.
I just think. It's weird, but in a season where you don't have spring practice and where you're starting a guy who didn't have any practice before like September, you just want shots on goal. Like I just want him to throw the ball like 20, 30 times, and not because I want him to score 3 touchdowns. I don't care if he has 2 interceptions. Like I just like get the guy in live reps, right? And if everybody stays healthy and they get in live reps, and I don't mean this I don't mean this statement to be dismissive or nasty to Vanderbilt. I think Georgia could pretty much tell Vanderbilt they were running only the inside zone and still win. Vanderbilt's probably not scoring more than 3 points against this UGA defense, even the third team. And I think UGA could win like 23-3 if they just ran inside zone. Literally only that play. I'm not joking. And so to me, seriously, like this is sort of.
I think you're right. I'm not disagreeing.
This Vanderbilt team is bad in a way that it was not possible to be bad in before 2020. Like it was not possible to just. This is like almost the only thing I can think that's analogous is if you have like 15 guys are in a like apartment bus, like party bus, and it gets in a car wreck and they all get concussions, and you just lose 15 guys randomly in the middle of the season. Like there's nothing analogous to this in the history of modern college football. And so and I mean this, no disrespect to Thomas, who I'm very happy came on, or any Vanderbilt fan, like UGA is winning this game, and I'm more sure of that than I have been of like any take that I've ever said in front of a camera, microphone, or keyboard. So really it's just about depth, right? Play JT Daniels. We want to see Nazir Stackhouse. You want to see Zion Lowe. You want to see
Is Major Burns still hurt?
I think so.
Yeah.
You want to see more Lewis Seen. Some of the guys maybe backing up at cornerback, right? Speed. You want to see like some of these freshmen.
I guess any of the seniors. Obviously, I think the seniors that are second and third teams should. Maybe they even get a start.
If Nate McBride gets a start, I wouldn't be shocked. Like, and I don't mean that in a mean way. Like, I think it would be cool if he did.
I think for me, it's like, as much as I agree that JT Daniels could use the live reps, like, I also just don't think there's any way in hell that Kirby Smart lets us throw the ball more than 16 to 18 times on Saturday. And Georgia won't have to. But, like, the connection between Pickens, I want to continue to see that. If we do have a deep ball, I want to see him trust that back leg because, like, the mechanics issue that you're referring to, Nathan, and I'm not a quarterback expert either, but just, like, from what I see watching film, like, the deep balls that he threw against Mississippi State that were, way out there and were on point, he was pushing off his back leg a lot differently than he did on that underthrow to Jermaine Burton on the wheel against South Carolina. So, like, that's great, but I do want to see, like, I want to see Sarah Fuller kick the field goal. I do. Like, I want it to happen.
Yeah, same.
And I think, like, above all, I had this kind of moment on Saturday night during, like, South Carolina where, like, it was actually the most fun I've had watching a Georgia football game in, like, at least 2 or 3 years. Probably since at least 2018, just because the offense wasn't, like, this massive, like, unrealized potential and frustration and bad play calling and all that. So it's like I I think that Monken is really good and Daniels is really good, and like just letting them continue to do their thing and find that flow. But I also like Georgia doesn't need to show anything on tape against Vanderbilt that they haven't shown already this year. Like just go out there, be vanilla, do your thing, develop some chemistry. And I do think like there is possibility. Georgia they just came out with the playoff rankings for the week. Like Georgia's number 8 in the CFP rankings, so like they're probably going to get into a New Year's Six bowl. So there is still like potential that like this team could play somebody good that would be an exciting
Cincinnati.
But yeah, I mean I would hate to play Cincinnati because that's a total lose-lose for us. But if we play them, I want to beat them. So like I think we've seen Georgia get better every week this season. Let's continue that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Fun. Thanks. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Nathan. That was fun.
Yeah.
Graham, as always.
It's been a pleasure, gentlemen. If you like what you heard here today, you should check us out on Twitter at Chapel Bell Curve and at the Battle Hymnal. You can also check us out on our personal Twitters at Nathan J. Lawrence, at DogOutWest, and at @dog_stats. If you want to support our cause and we think get access to a great community, then you can hit us up at patreon.com/Chapel Bell Curve. We are donating all of our proceeds this year, minus expenses, to the Dogs for Pups campaign, which is a really cool player-led initiative that UJ Football is doing this year. Come on out. We'll talk about games and play games, and we'll be real dumb, and you'll enjoy all of it. We will catch you this weekend in the Classic City, maybe, and if not, until then, go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Well said. All right, boys.